So the thing is, right, I'm a little bit crap at Blender, and that is probably not what you want to hear. You're probably hoping I'm one of them super cool, super smart, super talented, super blender guys that are going to show you a super tutorial, and at the end of a super looking donut made in Blender. However, I was thinking, if every time I learn something that makes me a little bit less crapper at Blender, I'll make a tutorial about it. Then other people that are crap can watch the tutorial and they can be a little bit less crap at Blender. And also, if you make a tutorial that makes people a little bit less crap at Blender, put a link in the comments, and the next time I make a crap Blender tutorial, I'll let people know about your crap Blender tutorial, and eventually we might not be so crap at Blender, right? Cool. Now the thing about this tutorial is you don't have to follow it exactly like I do it. You can do it pretty much your own way and just jump to the bits where it's important, like how do you actually loop the animation. But you can make your own objects however you want. I'll make an object, but if you want to make your own, skip that part and get to the next bit. And if you understand that part, skip to the next bit. You get what I'm saying? Okay, so just like any other Blender tutorial you've ever seen, first things first, let's get rid of the default cube. So click it, press X and press delete. Now we need a mesh, so Shift A, mesh, cylinder. I want to move it up above the ground a bit because it really annoys me that it's half underground. So click it, press G to move. G to move, that makes no sense, does it? Groove. So press G to groove, and then you press Z to move it on the Z axis. Then we want to press tab to go to edit mode. We want to deselect everything, so just click off it. Press 3 for face mode, and then press down all and choose a face, and that should choose all your outer faces. Right click the edge and extrude faces along normals, which extrudes it forwards like that. Along its normals apparently, whatever the normals is. Next, I want to create the teeth of the cog, so extrude individual faces, blam, and I don't know, that looks alright. And then we want to bevel these to make the actual teeth, so Control and B and bevel your teeth. You ever beveled your teeth before? Not recommended. Look after your teeth. Right, with that done, let's press tab to go back to object mode. We should have what looks like a very crap cog, but you know, it's got teeth. Next thing, we're probably going to want 2 of these cogs, so press 7 for top view on your numpad and select your cog and press Shift and D, and then press Shift and X to move it to the side. Now we've got 2 cogs, and I want these teeth to interlock. I want these teeth to interlock, so I'm just going to press G for groove and Y and X and whatever else it takes to get this interlocked. Okay, that looks quite interlocked. Okay, so if you made your own object to animate, you've probably got something awesome. But if you followed me, you've probably got 2 really crap looking cogs. So next step is to animate these in a constant loop. First things first, let's go to animation mode at the top here. And let's zoom out a little bit. In fact, let's press number 7 to get the top view. And choose one of your cogs. If you can't see it already, we're going to want to see the transform box here. So if you press N, this will show you its current positions, rotations, scales, whatever. And then down on the animation pane at the bottom, I'm sure you can do this in Dope Sheet, but this probably going to be easier if we choose Graph Editor. And we need a tool like a Graph Editor, so it's a good place to be. Now make sure you're on frame 1, because that's where everything starts. And open your transform box, you press I to insert a keyframe on whichever location, rotation or scale you want. So we're interested in rotation, so press I while hovering over rotation, and you'll get a bloody sexy keyframe at frame 1. And then just decide how long you want the loop, the first loop to go on for. I'm just going to arbitrarily press 60. Arbitrarily. Arbitrarily. I don't even know if that's right, who cares. Now we're going to want to rotate this cog 359 degrees. Why 359 and not 360? Well, 360 is the same as 0 in it, and we don't want 2 frames of 0. So if we go to our rotation here, while we're on frame 160, and we're just going to type in there 359, and then we're going to press I, and now we've got our second keyframe. Okay, so if we scroll back and forth, we've got one full rotation. You might be able to do it with 180, just rotate halfway, given it's probably symmetrical. Who cares? Let the computer do hard work. Right, so we've got a full 360, and now we want to make it loop infinitely or as many times as you want. So at the right hand side of your graph editor, you should be able to see this box here with a modifiers option. If you can't see it, come over to the left here, okay, and then you want to drill down into your cylinder or whatever your object is and choose whichever rotation we're working with. I'm working with Z, and then when you come over to it right, you should almost definitely have this box now. So we're going to click modifiers, we're going to click added modifier, and we'll click cycles. Bam! And then we will see when we go past 160, it keeps on bloody looping. Nice! Now down here you want to make sure you've got enough frames. So I'm going to go like 5,000, otherwise the animation will end too soon. And now when I press play, it's going to go on and on and on and on and on and on. And on and on and on, on and on, on and on, on and on. Right, now we've got that one looping forever. We want to make the second one loop forever. Except this one's going to go the opposite way, isn't it? Because that's what cogs do. If they both went the same way, you'd absolutely knack your cogs, wouldn't you? They'd be like trying to fight each other, and you would absolutely knacker your cogs. So they've got to go different ways, because that's kind of how it physics stuff. So again, go back to frame 1, click your second cog, and we do exactly the same. We're going to make it go the other way. Okay, so over rotation, press I, you get your first frame. Don't forget what you set your first cog to. The last frame was 160, or mine, well, you put it wherever you put yours. And then I'm going to go to 160 on my second cog, and this time I'm going to go minus 359, so I don't absolutely knacker up my cog. And then press enter, press I, and now this cog goes the other way. Done it. And obviously we're going to need to do the same again and add the modifier. So cycles, and then we just play it. You'll see we've got 2 cogs that are looping infinitely and forever and forever and forever and forever. Amen. Right, part 3, animating the cameras, which is practically the same as animating your objects, but there's an extra spicy little bit I want to show you, which probably make life a lot easier for you. So to begin with, you want to make sure you've got a camera. If you don't have a camera, you want to press Shift A and add a camera, but you always start with a default camera, and if you haven't deleted it, it should still be there. Next thing, you press 0 to look at what the camera's looking at. To look at what the camera's looking at, you want to look at what the camera's looking at. Okay, now that's not a very good view of these cogs, is it, or whatever you've got going on. So what I like to do is use Shift and tilde. Tilde. If you know what tilde is, it's the key that lives above tab. Tilde. Okay. Then you use your gaming keys. Now I assume you all know what your gaming keys are. You assume we're all geeks here, nerds, so we know what the gaming keys are. So using your gaming keys, we can adjust our camera till we've got a bloody nice view of us cogs. Hey, it's probably going to take me hours to get this view right. Hours and hours and hours. Hours and hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. Hours. Right, okay. That'll do. That'll do. I'm going to save it here because, you know. Now we're going to create an empty. What is an empty, you might be asking? Well, an empty is something, but it's nothing. It's something. I don't know what an empty is. If you know what an empty is, put something in comments so we all know what a bloody empty is. So anyway, we're going to make an empty first. So to begin with, we want to put a 3D cursor right in the centre of these cogs. So you press Shift and right click. And then when you press Shift, A, empty. Now I think you can choose any of these. I don't think it makes a difference. But if you know better, you'll let me know why they make a difference. But I'm going to click plane axis. Like that. And the reason for putting the 3D cursor there was so that the empty lands exactly there too. Next, you want to click your camera and come down to this object mode here. And then you want to find relations in the options. And what you want to do is make the empty its parent. So click the eyedropper, come back up to empty, and now the empty is its parent. And if you go look up here and you expand the empty, you will have automatically put the camera underneath it because now it's its parent. Now that the camera's got an empty as a parent, if we rotate the empty, it will also rotate the camera. And the beauty of it is the distance between the empty and the parent will remain constant. So it's going to act like a radius, and the camera's going to rotate around that radius, which makes life a lot easier. So first we want to click empty, then we want to make sure we're on frame 0. Pretty sure you can just press that back button there to get to frame 0, but whatever. Then hover over rotation and press I, and decide how many keyframes you want for your camera loop. I'm going to go 90 for no reason at all. And then we want to put 359 in there to get a full rotation. Press enter, press I, and that should give us a full 360 on the camera. Of course we want it to go on forever and ever and ever and ever, amen. So press cycles and now it will rotate forever and ever. But we can do a little bit better than that, can't we, given we're here? So if we go back to frame 1, again, these are all set to 0. So I lied when I said go to frame 1. I meant go to your last frame. And then we can put 359 in one of the others. Press I to get it as a keyframe. Back to the beginning. There. Now we've got it going round 2 rotations. But we can go one further than that, can't we? So if we get back to our last frame, we put 359 in there, lock it in with I, and then start that again, and then press play. Now look at it. Now it's going absolutely mental. So that's it for today's tutorial. If you learned something and had a little bit of fun, don't be mean and like and subscribe.